There are three kinds of listening that we commonly see in everyday life. The first one is distracted listening. That's when we're looking at our phones or we're reading something, we're typing on a computer, we're focused on something else while somebody's trying to communicate with us. Now imagine how you feel when somebody does that to you, and it's probably how that person's feeling when you do it to them. The second mode of listening I see a lot in government, also in business, is listening to respond. So in listening to respond, you're focused on the other person, and then something they say triggers some ideas or thoughts in your minds. And what you begin to do is formulate your response. And because the same part of the brain that you use to listen is also what you use to think through and formulate a response, your internal thoughts are going to trump what somebody is saying to you externally, and you're going to miss what they say. And oftentimes what happens is when it is our turn to respond, we're responding to something that happened earlier in the conversation, and it just seems out of sync and out of step, and people think you aren't listening. The third way, and the preferred way to communicate, is listening to understand. Place sole emphasis on understanding what somebody else is saying and what they mean by what they say. First, they're going to state something to you. They're going to state their opinion, they're going to state their new idea, they're going to come up with a way to solve a problem. And what you want to do, next step, is hear what they've got to say and then restate it to their satisfaction. You'll say things like, "What I heard you say is this and this. Did I get that about right?" And when they come back to you and say, "That's exactly right," then you know that what they have communicated, what they have said, and what you have heard are the same things. And that's the basis for all communication. Now, the third step is amplify your understanding of their point of view, and that's by asking open-ended questions. You'll explore their ideas with, what brought you to this conclusion? How do you plan to implement that idea? What if this factor changed? How would that change your approach to this particular issue? And when you ask those kind of open-ended questions, getting the person to amplify their views, you come to a deeper connection and a greater understanding. And you do so in a way that doesn't threaten the other person, so they don't get defensive. According to a recent Harris poll, the average company loses 8 hours per employee per week due to miscommunication. That's 500 hours of lost time per employee per year due to miscommunication. Using this simple process is going to help you close that gap, reduce those miscommunication errors, and boost the productivity in your company.